What's up guys, Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today's a fun day because I have my hands on the keys to this Bronco Everglades. And in this video, we're gonna give you a full tour of the... I'm gonna get you, you know that, right? Jack leg. Okay, I'm sorry, that's what I say when I'm trying not to cuss. Anyway, in this video, we are going to do a full deep dive. And by the way, huge thanks to Josh for actually giving us access to this Bronco. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you very, very much. So give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. How are you enjoying that Bronco? Love it. Now, you can't hear him because he doesn't have a microphone, but he said he loves it. So anyway, so what we're going to do in this video is do a full tour of the Everglades, kind of give you a behind the scenes look. You've all seen the videos that kind of itemize and show the Everglades, and you know, anybody can read a spec sheet. What I'm going to do in this video is try and do my best to give you some of the things that you've never heard of on any other video. In the essence of time, let's go ahead and get the high points out of the way, the stuff you've probably already seen. So from the factory, you have a Warn Xeon 10S, which means the synthetic line front winch, and it is a Ford Performance part. This is the only Bronco, and really I think the only vehicle that comes with a winch from the factory, not dealer installed. So a pretty sweet little setup there. Now the other thing that we want to show you, because this is kind of what everybody's talking about, is going to be the snorkel. I am going to spend a little bit of time on this, but the idea behind this is you've got the ability to have the air intake for the motor up higher. There's a couple of benefits to that. One, you don't have to worry about water getting into the motor as easily as if the intake was underneath the hood. Now the other side benefit of that, if you don't live in the Everglades or in a swampy area, is that you have that air intake up higher. Your vehicle is not sucking up as much dust. If you're doing trail riding with, you have a vehicle in front of you kicking up a lot of dust, you're not going to be kicking up as much dust into the intake if it's up here. Now here's what I really want to show you is the back side of the snorkel. This is what I think is a really cool design, is you can actually swap these two plates out very simply, so that way if you're worried about water splashing the front side of it, you can have the intake sucking air in from the back side. So even further, you're going to be keeping out as much water and as much dust out of the engine as possible. Now the other thing I want to show you that you probably have already seen, but one of my favorite features on the Bronco Everglades is going to be these fender flares. So I love the fact that these things kind of have more of a squared off look to them versus a perfect half circle like a normal Bronco. So in my opinion, the best looking fender flare setup on a Bronco from the factory, but I still prefer the advanced fiberglass on my Bronco, but I know I'm partial. I know it. I'm not going to worry about that. Anyways, let's talk about another thing that is fun on the Everglades, and that's going to be this step system. So this is an actual rock slider that has steps built into it. So as you can see, you've got your Bronco bolts here. So you're going off-roading, you need to do some rock sliding, whatever it is. You hit your two bolts, take that step off, take this step off, you got a functional rock slider. Pretty cool from the factory. But if you got to keep your kids with you, or your wife is vertically challenged and not 6'3" like I am, then you can have those steps in there to get in and out of the vehicle a little bit better. Now, I will tell you that if it were me, because I'm 6'3", those steps actually get in the way. It's actually easier for me to get in and out of the vehicle without actually hitting the step. Like, I feel like it's an awkward height for me to get in and out of the vehicle. Like, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm being nitpicking or whatever, but I kind of like, I don't know. I don't think it's the right height for me, but...
I couldn't hear what you said. Sorry, could you say that again?
Siri's talking back to me. Anyways, but yeah, that's what you... Oh, he's pulled up his Bronco right next to... Hey, are you trying to show up? No. He said, when in Rome. Anyways, let's get back to the Everglades. So you've got the squared off fender flares, one of my favorite looks from the factory, but I didn't show you this. This is the actual, I mean, you paid for the Everglades. You got to make sure that everybody knows you got the Everglades, right? Now, what I like about this is you've got this reflective material over here on the side. So as you can see the sun, you can see that it actually reflects off a little bit, but it's a topographical or it's a map of the Everglades, and you can even see that there is a Sasquatch that is wading through the Everglades. How stinking cool is that? Let's talk about the color. So the cool thing about the Everglades is you get a unique option for color. This is called Desert Sand, and I'm going to tell you, it looks just like the old Raptor color, the Terrain, I think is what they called it. It looks very similar to Cactus Gray as well, but it is a very cool, very unique color that is only available on the Everglades. And that is what is featured here in this particular video. Now let's talk about wheels and tires since we're in this area. So you're going to see familiarity with these tires. They are 315/70 R17. The reason those look familiar is because they're the exact same wheels and tires that you get on a Sasquatch Bronco, because the Everglades comes automatically with the Sasquatch package. Now what you don't get on any other Bronco are going to be these unique wheels. I love the way these things look. By far my favorite looking wheel from the factory from Ford themselves on the Bronco. As you can see, you've got your pony center cap in there, but I just love the way that that wheel and tire combination looks. Now to clear those 35s is going to be the exact same suspension system that you get on a normal Sasquatch. So you've got the Bilstein position sensitive dampers. It's the Haas 2.0 system. Very good system overall as far as suspension is concerned. Once again, one of the weak points are probably, if you're going to be hardcore wheeling this thing, are going to be your tie rods, but I suspect that the aftermarket has got a lot of really good options for that, just like the tie rods that I installed on my Bronco, the FabTech tie rods. And I suspect that this one will match completely, just like they do on my 2021 Ford Bronco. Now, since we're kind of in this area, let's do this. Let's take a look underneath the hood and see what we've got going on there. Underneath the hood of the Everglades is a very interesting story for a couple of different reasons. The main one is Ford doesn't give you a choice on what you've got going on under here. The other thing is no hood props. The Bronco Raptor, which is actually right over there, actually has got hood props or hood struts from the factory. So props to Ford for doing that, but you know, I kind of wish you'd make it a standard across the board. So Ford engineers, if you guys are listening to this video, watching this video, please give us hood props across the board. I would pay extra for it. Either way, let's go back to this. You've got a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost, which makes a lot of power, as you can see right there on the screen. It's a great motor, but it is the only option on the Everglades well, I'm not sure exactly what the reason is. One can only assume that it is because, well, I'm going to go ahead and call it this snorkel right here. As you can see, the intake tube from that snorkel comes straight through that fender. Since you've got a lot more air going through a longer tunnel, if you will, I can only assume that maybe the 2.3 doesn't pull as much air in, and for the engineers, they probably chose that motor for that particular reason. Maybe there's an engineering reason. Maybe it's a commodity constraint issue, meaning that Ford can't build enough 2.7s. I don't know what the issue is, but it's interesting to note that the Bronco Everglades only comes in a 2.3. Before we move on to the next part, let's show you a cool little Easter egg. So as you can see right there, the windshield wiper fluid is actually relocated on the Everglades because you've got a snorkel in the way. So as you can see from a normal Ford Bronco, the windshield wiper fluid is actually housed inside the passenger front fender. And since you've got a snorkel going through there now, you have to completely relocate where you keep your windshield wiper fluid. So just a fun little fact for you that they had to completely redo that side of the Ford Bronco. Now, speaking of only comes in this particular situation, the other thing is you can only get it in a 4-door, so no 2-door Bronco on the Bronco Everglades. The other thing is you can only get it in an automatic transmission. So there's a lot of restrictions on this particular trim level, but I still think it's a very good value because as you can see right there on the screen, when you compare this to the next closest competitor, which is going to be your Black Diamond, you get a couple of different extra features. We've already covered a lot of the different features that the Everglades has come with, but when you compare that to something like what the Black Diamond has got, it's very comparable in price as far as MSRP. And by the way, if you're looking for a dealer that can help you with a Bronco at MSRP, when those order banks do open up for the 23 model year, our dealership will be happy to help you. The phone number is going to be right there on the screen. I will tell you though that right now the Bronco ordering banks are completely shut down at the time that I'm making this video, which is going to be, is it April? I don't even know what month it is. It's April the 19th at the time that I am making this video. On the backside of the Everglades, there's not a whole lot to talk about if you've seen any other Bronco related videos, especially from our channel. Shameless plug, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already done so. But anyways, on the backside, you'll notice you've got a matching spare tire, once again, a 35-inch almost a 35-inch tire because of the Sasquatch package matching wheel. You've got your normal hinge, whereas you have on the Bronco Raptor, you actually have a supported hinge system, basically triangulates it for more beefiness, if you will. But yeah, not a whole lot to go over back here. You'll also notice that it does have a molded in color hardtop. That is going to be something that every Bronco Everglades has, is the molded in color hardtop, which might cause you to have a little bit of issues ordering one or actually getting it scheduled for production in a reasonable time frame. Now, let's take a look at the inside. Now that we're on the inside of the Bronco Everglades, I get to show you one of my favorite features of all of the Broncos, and that is going to be the marine grade vinyl. I've got a very similar version of the marine grade vinyl in my Badlands, and after spending about 10,000 miles behind the wheel of marine grade vinyl equipped vehicle, I don't think I would have anything else. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than what you'll find in something like a Badlands or something you'll find inside of a Black Diamond. The main thing is you're going to see that the stitching is of a different color. You'll also notice the OD green grab handles here, also the OD green vent visors over here. I love the interior hue of the Everglades because I think that green matches a little bit better than some of the other versions of the Bronco. Like for instance, a Black Diamond has a bright blue. If blue's not your thing, sorry, don't buy a Black Diamond. And I just think blue is a little bit more of a contrasty color. Same with the Badlands. It's got an orange accents all over the place. And although it looks cool on Cyber Orange, it may not look good on something like what I have, which is a, you know, custom color or something like that. So I like the neutrality of the interior of the Bronco Everglades. Now, speaking of the interior, let's talk about this. This is one of the most unique things about the Everglades. That's going to be that 12-inch infotainment system. So as you can see, this is the same exact infotainment system you'll find in something like my Bronco Badlands. But here's the thing, is this is technically a mid package. So you've got the heated seats here, just like a mid package would have. However, on a Black Diamond or even on a Badlands mid package, this is the only way you can technically get a mid packaged equipped vehicle, but with a 12-inch infotainment system. So it's very, very neat to see that kind of a quirk, if you will, or if you're a Doug DeMuro fan. Now you'll also notice that the instrument cluster is exactly the same from every other Bronco, so not a reason to spend a whole lot of time there, but it is interesting to see. Looking at the hero switches, you'll notice a couple of different things: front locker, rear locker, and that's because this vehicle is equipped with a Sasquatch package that comes with it. The trail turn assist is included on every Bronco with an automatic transmission, trail turn assist, and the hazards. The reason there's an empty spot here is because it does not have the stabilizer bar disconnect. That option was reserved specifically for a Badlands equipped vehicle, or if you had a 2021, you could get it in a first edition. In the back seat of the Bronco Everglades, it looks exactly like it would inside of a Black Diamond. There's absolutely no differences here. You've got the same marine grade vinyl in the back, no cup holders here, no air conditioning vents here. I know I'm complaining. I know it sounds like I'm complaining. You do still have yourself a cup holder or a bottle holder in the actual door of the vehicle, but if you do ever take that door off, you've got no cup holders in the back seat of the vehicle. You can just do what I do and just tell your kids there's no way you're eating or drinking in the back seat of my Bronco. Problem solved. I'm going to show you a cool feature, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the Everglades. So as we come into the cargo area of the vehicle, I want to show you, you got this nice big cargo area, you got the rubber top to it here, but hey, guess what? Check this out. You have got the tailgate table, which is now an option on 2022 Ford Broncos. This is something that Ford has really touted for quite some time. It's a nice place if you need to, you know, go camping, you need to maybe cook some stuff. You have that ability right here. But here, check this out. Josh, you stay here. I'm going to lay these seats down. I want to show you something. Because of that tailgate table, you have a completely load flat floor now. So now, I say completely, almost completely. Whereas in like things like my Bronco, you have a hump up to get to this portion of the seat. So because you've got this piece that is raised up, depending on what part of Alabama you're from, kind of like me, you have a nice, more of a load flat floor, and man, that is so cool. Now take a look at the Ford that they have stamped in the tailgate, just like they did back in the day. So a pretty cool setup. Now you've actually got a handle. You can't really see it until that camera gets down, but you got a handle where you pull that handle and it slides forward and locks in place until you get it. you pull that handle and pull it right back out. This is a cool feature that I think Ford should absolutely sell as an accessory. Oh, and look at that. Look at that. They've even got an Easter egg that tells you, just in case you forgot, what should you do with this? Sit on it and sit by a campfire. And there you have it. That is the Bronco Everglades, a fantastic vehicle, and I think a great price point for the vehicle itself, especially. Oh, hey!
That guy that's between 6'3" and 6'5"?
No, I'm 5'13".
Oh.
Guys, if you haven't already checked out, this is Krista. She's got a fantastic YouTube channel. Go check her out. We'll have that link down in the description. So, fantastic lady, and I appreciate all your content.
Hey, I'll watch this video later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Well, so there you go. Once again, the Bronco Everglades. Huge thanks to everybody at the Bronco Super Celebration. Huge thanks to Krista. Huge thanks to Josh for flipping me the keys to this vehicle. So, guys, thank you so much. If you haven't already done so, make sure you comment down below. Let us know what you think of the vehicle. Is this a pass or a fail? I'm curious to see what you guys think. But regardless, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button to help us with the video. It really does go a long way of making sure this video makes it to people who need and want to see this kind of content. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss a single video. Peace.